What's up, YouTube? Gail, check this gadget. Coming to you with my thoughts of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. So I must say, first off, excellent device. I have loved it. I've had it for a week now, and I've loved having every minute of it. It's a great device. And so basically, I'm going to tell you some reasons why I like the device, and then we'll get into some cons. And I'll give you an overall summary. So just to start off, I have been waiting for this device, and it has lived up to the hype for me. It's been a fun phone, and I honestly can say I can't see going forward without ever owning this type of phone or a tablet this small in the future ever again. It's just I gotta have one now. So let's get into it. Excellent device. I very much have enjoyed using it. I've been using it every day, all day. And let me just tell you what I like about it, basically. So let's start off with the hardware, since I have it closed already. Hardware is fantastic. As you can see here, I got the bronze color. For me, I would consider this a rose gold color, more so than a bronze. But beautiful, beautiful finish. As you can see, here is that nice new hinge, which we'll talk about. Beautiful build quality. Samsung definitely did a great job with the build quality on here. And since I'm speaking about the build quality of it, I might as well go ahead and talk about that new hinge, which feels fantastic. You probably saw some other videos and they talk about how the hinge is improved over the original model, and definitely is. You can definitely feel it. Very nice and smooth, and you can see it lays all the way flat. So dust particles, you can see it lays all the way flat. Very nice, sturdy. It just feels great. The hinge is great, build quality is great. And now we can go into my favorite part of the phone. It's this beautiful internal display, which is now 7.6 inches, up from 7.3 on the original model, and it's great. It's bright, it's vibrant. The colors are vibrant, of course, which you would expect with a Samsung device if you had them in the past. Samsung has always had beautiful, vibrant colors on their displays. The blacks have always been nice and deep black, which I love. And it's just great. I love this display. The reason I had wanted this phone so much was because I have an iPad mini that I've always loved the iPad mini series. I've had all of them. And the reason what I like about the iPad mini so much is it's small. I get a full tablet in a small package. And recently I've been yearning to have that same thing for Android. The problem is these days no one's really making high powered 8-inch smaller screen Android devices. The closest thing I can get to an Android device that's smaller is this Galaxy Tab A here. But this is not even the one they sell in the States. This is the one with the S Pen. I would never buy the original one. This is the one with the S Pen. This would be the only reason I got the Galaxy Tab A model. Otherwise, I wouldn't get it. But I love this because I can use it as a notepad now, because it's something smaller versus their bigger tablets. So this is the closest thing I can get to 8 inches. As far as my iPad, that's the perfect what I want, and I wanted an Android version of that, and that's what this Fold kind of gives me. If we look at the screen, if I compare the screen, you can see height wise it is essentially the same. It's essentially the same height. And then let me show you the width. It's a little wider. If you look down here at the bottom, you can see that it goes slightly wider than the actual display of the iPad. And if I just put it all the way on top, you can see essentially the screen on the Fold 2 is the same size. Now we know the screen size of the iPad is 7.9, but essentially it's pretty much the same. It's just the screen without the bezels of the iPad. And I will hope that's something that Apple would do with future iPads, is basically remove those bezels and make it a smaller package. But that's why I love this device so much. And I knew I was going to love the device when I got it, because it would satisfy that. And that's what I was looking for, was basically having an Android version of an iPad mini, a nice compact, and using this screen that gives me exactly what I want. I get the same pretty much usability of the screen without all the extra space of the bezels, and it's a more compact design, so I can fit this in smaller purses and smaller bags, versus when I would want to carry my iPad mini, having to have a medium-sized purse or a bigger bag. So this works out perfectly for me in that aspect of it, and I just love the screen. So if you are a person that's looking for that ability to have a bigger screen on the go, and you necessarily want to put it in smaller settings, i.e. your pocket or smaller pouch or something like that, versus you can't do that if you're carrying around an iPad mini, or if you're carrying around a Galaxy Tab 8-inch tablet, you can't do that. So, I mean, you can see the difference here, right? Let me move that out the way. Look at the difference, right? This is a much more compact carry. Get the 8-inch tablet, the 8-inch Android Galaxy Tab A. Much more of a compact carry. So if that is something that is important to you, that you need a bigger screen for tablet type stuff, but you don't want to carry around a tablet size, you want to highly look at this phone, as it will satisfy the needs for that. And that's just me using it as a secondary. So, but I'll get into that more at the end. Let me go over the other key points of things that I like. So the other good thing is, now I don't use the external display on the front that much, but the fact that it is, let me get there we go. The fact that it is larger compared to the original model. Now the original model had, this was 4.6, I believe. This is 6.2. Bigger display, which I think is definitely a plus. It gives you more space to work with, just side by side. It gives you more space to work with. Now, I don't use the front screen that much, and if I'm being honest, when I first got the phone, I didn't like the front display. I believe it was because it's too narrow, and coming from regular candy bar style phones to such a narrow display, it definitely takes some adjustment for me. And the quality is a little lower, of course, than what you would expect on a candy bar, a regular phone, because of course it's not the main display. So those two things take some getting used to for me. But over time, as the week went on, I can definitely use this screen. I end up just using it for like the calendar, and definitely when I want to do some quick calculator work, or if I need to just adjust a setting there with the quick toggles. That is something I would use the front display for. I primarily use the internal display, but those are some things where it's nice to have a large display. And then, of course, if you want to just quickly browse Instagram or something like that, you can do that. Me personally, I would just open the phone. But for some people that might not want to do that, open their phone all the time, if they're out on the go or something, then I can understand. And that's why it's good that they did go ahead and make this a nice larger display for that purpose. I would say the speakers are nice. So we got a speaker on the top, speaker on the bottom. Speakers are loud enough for me. Didn't have any problems with that. We talked about the hinge, we talked about the build quality, and then the other neat feature was the fact that we can use the external display as a preview when you're using your camera. So you have to make sure you click this little button here at the top. So now it's on. So now when you want to take a picture, let me lean up out the picture. When you want to take a picture, you now have the preview, as you can see there, on your front display. So that's very cool. They also have the ability where you can have your controls here, taking a picture there. You can see your preview there. So that's also a cool feature. So those are all my positives So let me talk about the few little minor things that I did not like, or well, it's just two main things I did not like, and then we'll talk about the price, which I'll get into that in just a second. So the main thing is when you pick this phone up and holding it in when it's closed, you can definitely feel the weight. It is heavy, and bulky. But it's only bulky because it's heavy. Like, you know, I think people only call stuff bulky when you can feel it very heavy. So it's heavy. You can feel it. And can I say I got used to it over the week? No, it's still picking it up right now. I'm not used to it, and I don't ever plan to be used to that weight of it. Now, I will say this: when I do have it open, like this, that weight doesn't feel as bad. It's very oftentimes I'm using it in one hand, like I'm holding it like this as I'm reading something, or I might have two hands. But usually I'm either holding it one hand and reading, or it's flat, or I'll use something like a stand and have it propped up. If I'm like laying in the bed, I will have it either flat, or depending if I'm looking at a video or whatever, or if I'm reading sometimes I like to just prop it up in the stand and scroll. So it just depends, but the weight doesn't feel bad when I have it open. It's only when I have it closed is when I can feel that weight of it. The other thing was the unboxing experience definitely left some stuff to be, desired. So $2,000 phone, right? And all you get in the box is the charger. And that's it. And the reason I have a problem with that is because the original Fold came with wireless earbuds. It came with, you got a little adapter from regular USB to USB-C. And then you also got, the case, right? You got this little carbon case. Nothing major, but having a case, that's very helpful, especially now, right? Most case manufacturers, they don't have the cases out, or they don't have enough because I guess they maybe didn't expect the demand. So right now it's hard to find a case for this phone. Only people I know that looks like it has it in stock is actually Samsung, which they have a leather case that is, I believe it's $80 if I'm not mistaken. It's up there. But the thing about their case, it's literally only for this part of the phone. It's only for your back of your phone. There's no other case for the front. I consider it half a case. Considering that's $80 is crazy to me. So the fact that, if they would have been including a case, that would have been much appreciated. If they couldn't do a case, maybe a pouch. Anything. If you didn't want to include wireless ear, because I know people are going to say, well, look at the build quality compared to the 2, and the screen is bigger. They have to make this screen on the front bigger. So, they had to keep costs low. They took out all the other stuff. Listen, I don't think producing a little case like this would have cost that much on Samsung's, adding that few extra dollars, or including a pouch. Or if you didn't want to include wireless tail, I can understand taking out the wireless tail buds. That's a big cost. Okay, I can understand that. Can we get the wired ones back, maybe, at least? They used to include those. Now they're taking those out of all the phones too. Like the Note, they taking them out. Okay, if we can't do that, can we at least, does have a regular headphone jack? Everyone's going away from headphone jack. Can we include the adapter? Maybe? No? Okay. Something. You know what? I would have even been happy if they just included a little cleaning wipe. Just something extra. I feel like for $2,000, like, we should get something extra besides just a charger. I would have been even happy just a little cleaning cloth. Something. I don't know. I mean, but that's the company these days. Like, I wish companies would go back to, remember this phone called, I think it was called the My Touch or whatever. I remember it was on T-Mobile. And the presentation was excellent because they had this case. And I still have that case to this day. I should have had it on standby, but it was a case that you zip it and you open it, and it had like a little pouch over here, and then it had this little flap in the middle that you can stick stuff on, and it had a pouch in the back, and it was a nice thick case. The phone came in there and a bunch of other stuff. It was excellent presentation, and I still have that pouch to this day. I think that was like one of the phones with best presentation. Even like, remember the Palm Pre had a great presentation. They didn't include a case, but they included a little pouch that you could put your Palm Pre in. I would have been happy with that too. Just something. I just feels like it adds to the experience, right? Because the box looked nice, but having something in there besides a charger just adds to the experience, you know, and make customers want to be, you know, lifetime type customers. I look for stuff like that. But that's just me. Let me know. Let me know if you feel the same way about the box situation. For the people that did get the Fold 2, let me know if you feel the same way about the box situation, or does it matter to you? I mean, I know this is something we should get used to, but still, I just feel like for the price point of $2,000, that they could have gave us a cleaning cloth, a pouch, a case, some wire earbuds, something, a sticker, anything. Nah, the sticker wouldn't did. But just, I want to know y'all thoughts on that. For the people that do own Fold 2, what did you think about the case? I mean, the box and just only having a charger. Okay, so the other thing is the price of $2,000. Okay, so I was already expecting it to be $2,000. We already knew the original one's $2,000, well, close to $2,000. I think you're technically retailed at $1,980. We'll just say $2,000. So I already knew that this phone was going to be $2,000. I actually, after tax with mine, it came to $1,902. So basically $1,900. And how I did that, I provided the educational discount, which helped. And if you do like military or government, Samsung got like a bunch of discounts, so one might apply to you. And to be honest, it's not like they check if you selected it. Just saying. But I mean, if they needed it, I could have provided them an EDU email. The other thing was, I did the trick where you act like you're going to cancel your order, and then Samsung gives you 10% back, which in this case was $100. And so the way they do is they charge you the full amount, and then they just they deposit $100 back to your account. And it's just a flat 100. They don't pay you the tax back on it, which is kind of weird. I feel like we should get that tax back, but whatever. So that's how they do it for people who are curious. Now, I'm not sure if that was only for people that did pre-orders. I don't know how that works if you're trying to order now. It might still work since the phones are still take a couple weeks to get. I know for the black model, I don't know if the bronze is like available to be shipped out immediately or not. So I'm not sure if that works now. I know it worked for the pre-orders, and you might can get it to work for the black order since that phone is still a few weeks out. So you can give it a try. Just it brings down the cost. So anything helps. So after tax, mine actually came in below retail, which is great, but that still cost you $1,900. Now some things to factor in is if you have trade-ins, that works. Like you can trade your old Fold in and get $800 back, which I feel like they should have gave more money back. I feel like they should at least give $1,000 back, but that's just me. But people got some trade-ins, or if you don't do your trade-in, if you sell your phone, which I recommend you do, you probably can get more money actually going just selling your phone. But I understand everyone don't like to, deal with the hassle of selling on Craigslist and all these other type stuff. I can 100% understand that. And then use that money, that'll probably bring your costs down. So if you can do a trade-in, that helps. You do the monthly payments, depending. Now, like I'm with T-Mobile, they want $600 down. They would have wanted $600 down, and I think the payment would still be like $58. I hate when you got to put down that much money then still make payments. It kind of sucks. Now I just went ahead and bought this outright off Samsung because I want those discounts. Because even though I could have got through T-Mobile and got the smaller and didn't have to shell out all this money up front and got the smaller payments, I still look at the overall price because at the end of the day I'm still going to pay it off. So I look at the overall price. I would have been paying more money versus saving a couple hundreds I did just doing Samsung. So those are things to factor in. So I mean, while it is an expensive device, there's ways you can do to get that price down via selling some of your old accessories, selling some of your old phones or tablets to apply that to this. Now, me personally, I'm not going to be selling my tablets. I love my mini, but that's because it's a whole different operating system. I'm not going to sell this one either because this has, like I said, that S Pen capable. Now, if next generation or in future generations, once they can get the Fold to have the S Pen, then this tablet can go, because then I would no longer need it. And I can't wait. Like, I think a lot of people are waiting on that, to be honest. A lot of people probably are waiting to the day that this can have the S Pen, or the screen is strong enough to have the S Pen. That'd be great. Speaking of that, S Pen, because they say don't use your fingernails, stuff like that. Like, as soon as you open the phone, you have all these warnings, and then you go through setup, you have the warning shot again. And I think that's just something that some people were talking about, as far as you spend that much money phoning, you feel like you have to baby the phone. And I understand that. I was like that the first few days myself, and I've always been like that, even with my Note phones, because the Note phones have always been the more expensive phones. And I think after a while, you lose that. I can see myself these past couple of days just using it as a phone, not worrying babying as much. And as more time will go on, that would totally leave. So I think it's just those first few days you might feel like that, or more so while you're in the return period, you're thinking about that. But honestly, I think after a while, you will let that go, and you won't worry about that, and you will just use the phone, and you won't worry about babying it. So I think that was some people are speaking about as far as that, but I think that'll go away. So overall, I would say, if this is going to be your main phone, I say it's a good choice and that you should get it. Mainly because they now have the front display here, right? So you can use it as a phone when you're out on the go. You don't have to worry about opening your phone to get everything done. Versus, like, and I'll talk about this in another video, versus something like the Surface that does have an experience. You always have to open the phone to get stuff done. You don't have to do that on the phones. So the fact that it has this larger screen, that's why I say if you want to use it as your main phone, I think it'd be good, right? For people that's using it as a secondary phone, this is where your usage comes into play. So this will be a secondary phone for me, right? However, it's like a main phone when I'm at home, because when I'm at home, I'm always on it. I'm using it. I'm not using my main phone. For example, my main phone is an iPhone right now, right? For communication. The reason I keep it is just mainly because of iMessage, and the emojis, and just overall, I'm kind of in the ecosystem. I just know it's going to work. So I just keep iPhone as my main phone at this point. Really, it comes down to iMessage, that's another video. But anyway, so that's my main phone, right? So when I'm out on the go, that's my main phone or whatever. But when I'm in the house, I'm using this. This is my primary phone in the house. So when it comes to a secondary device, it really comes down to, so you can know if it's worth it or not for you, how much are you going to be using that phone? Because if you're going to be using the phone like I'm using it, even though it's a secondary device, I use it as a main device in the house. It gets ton of usage in the house. So for me, it's worth it. I think for people that's using a secondary phone, it comes down to how much you're going to be using it and if that's going to be worth it for you. So overall, I would say, if you can afford it, or if you got a high value trade-in, or if you can go ahead and sell your phone and you're going to apply that money, or tablet, sell your phone or tablet and apply it towards this to get that cost down, roughly to like at least $1,400, I would say go ahead and get it to offset the cost. Or if you can do the monthly, if that works for you, go ahead and do it. Why not? Especially if you're going to be, if you're planning to keep this for a couple years, why not do the monthly, right? You don't have to worry about shelling all that money up front. If that works for you better, why not? So I overall, I think it is a great phone. For people asking why I keep mine, if you look back at the previous video, I already said why I will be returning this, I think. The plan is for me to return it. As I keep playing with it, I just love it. But the reason I return it, and I talked about that in the video, the previous video I've done, so you can go back and check that. But I'll just briefly mention it here. For me, it is a secondary device. I have a bunch of other devices, like I have the Surface Duo. For me, even though this is finance, I pay outright for this one, but still overall, I look at total cost overall. For me, I can't have both of these phones because that's too much money. Because I have a Note that I'm going to be keeping because I got a good deal on it. I end up getting this I really bought it for the full retail price, and I got a free Watch Active 2 for free. And then the price dropped to like $10.99. And luckily, Microsoft was nice enough and they gave me back the difference. Did you know Microsoft sells Samsung products? Just for people that didn't know that. They don't sell this though. And I think it's because they have this. They don't sell this, but you can get all their other. You can get the Tab S7. You can get this. You can get all the other phones. You just won't get this. That hasn't been up there yet. But Microsoft nice enough. They gave me that money back. So I got this for $10.99 retail plus tax, of course. And I got a free watch with it. So definitely want to be keeping my note. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the duo. I'm going to do a video about these two coming up. I'm going to do a video about the Fold 1 versus the Fold 2. So look forward to that next. And the Fold 2 versus the Duo. So look forward to that. But the reason why I'm returning this, why I plan to return it, I supposed to return it. That's my plan. But every time I play with it, I just love it so much. I don't want to get rid of it. But the reason why is because I got the Fold 1. And I was able to find one. And I felt because I get the same, like this doesn't bother me. I feel like because I can get the same thing with opening this, it's slightly smaller, but that doesn't bother me. The screen doesn't go all the way flat, but that's okay. I felt I can get the same thing out of this, then I don't need this phone. So only because I got the phone. Now, if I wasn't able to, and I got this for $800, right? So if I wasn't able to find the Fold 1, would I keep this phone? Yes. Yes. The only reason I'm getting rid of it and returning is because I was able to find a used Fold in pretty decent condition. Minus a couple micro scratches and like 2 scratches here you can only see when it's on a white display or whatever. But besides that, he had all the other stuff. Besides that, if I couldn't find a Fold 1, I would definitely keep this. I would just need to sell probably another device. I would have to sell something. Like, if I wanted to keep this and this, like, that's too much. But if I couldn't find a Fold 1, I would keep this. I would keep my Fold 2. And I would just have to sell, like, another iPad, a computer. I would have to get rid of something that I wasn't planning to get rid of. I would have to do that to keep it, to justify it, right? Because this is a lot, right? But if I couldn't, I would just keep this. I would keep the Fold. It's worth it to me. I think it is a phone that is worth it to a person. Even if you're going to be using it as a secondary phone. Like I said, if it's going to be a phone secondary that you're going to be using a lot, it's worth it. But only if you're going to be using the front screen a lot, right? I mean, not the front screen, the internal screen. So this really comes for people that, or I would say, people that's going to like this phone because it's different. People that's going to like this phone are people that are used to smaller tablets and like smaller tablets. This is who I think will like the Fold 2. People that like smaller tablets but want to have that in their pocket at all times, right? Because you're not going to have these in your pocket at all times, but you can have this in your pocket at all times. So if you like smaller tablets, then you should love the Fold 2. Who I think will not like the Fold 2 and who probably will get it but end up returning, people that like the standard style candy bar phone and used to just, not having to unflip stuff. Like they're not used to always open the phone. They like handling their device in one hand. If that's you're probably not going to like the Fold. I mean, you can use the front screen and this one might work for you depending. And if you don't like smaller tablets, you either like really big tablets like 12.9 inch or the bigger like Tab S Plus, or you just like to do your stuff on like a computer, a laptop, a bigger screen, then you might not like this. You might just say, man, I'm not using that screen as much, the inside screen as much. I can just go back to a Note 20 Ultra or something like that. So that's who I think will like the phone and will not like the phone. So hopefully this video helped you. I know it's long, but hopefully that helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try to get to them and respond to them. Like I said, look out for the future video. I'm going to do a comparison of these two phones, the original Fold and the Fold 2. And then I'm also going to do a comparison video. Not so much comparing, but telling the difference between who because these are two different devices for two different people, and I'll help you break down that too. So till next time, subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, later.